what do you see from them that want to take advantage of or think you might be able to take advantage of in trying to move the ball on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's a secret. Most teams that have had success with them against them had to throw the football. Coastal did a nice job against them, but Coastal runs a very unique offense. With some option stuff involved and all that. So, that one's hard in the game planning aspect of it. But the teams that's beat them had success at times throwing the football, and not really anybody. I mean, I think you guys watching the bowl game the other night how good App State is running the football. I think they ran for 550 something yards against whoever they played, and App scored 17 points against this team. So they do a nice job on defense, like I said last week, and we'll have to scratch and claw for every yard we get, and when we have our opportunities to make some plays, we got to make them.
You talked about Piggy a little bit last week too, but considering that, and you're going to want to throw the ball a little bit, need to throw the ball a little bit against this team. He's a guy that's protected the ball all year throwing. Hasn't thrown an interception. I guess what do you expect out of him or need out of him Saturday to get the offense going?
The same. You got to, I've especially the latter part of this year, he's done a better job of being a little more aggressive. You got to be aggressive to score points, but you got to be smart. You don't want to put the ball in the hands of the defense, but you got to throw it in some tight windows and make some throws, and that's what we got to continue to do. And interceptions happen. I think we hit a corner against Charlotte. We hit a corner back right in the heart with it. He just didn't happen to catch it. So we've thrown plenty of balls that could have been intercepted. We just he's gotten some luck on his side in that regard, and hopefully it continues one more game.
Coach Matthew Hargrove here with the College Heights Herald. Yeah. Georgia State has forced 18 turnovers this year. I believe 10 of them being interceptions. What do you go over in practice or tell your team? Like, how do you practice something like that, just not forcing turnovers or avoiding that situation?
Well, it doesn't start this week. This is game 12. I think we've had a couple games that we got sloppy with turnovers, which cost us to get beat by some teams. The score looked a little worse than it probably should have. It doesn't start this week. We've harped it all year. We'll continue to do that. This team, because of how they play and what they do offensively and how good they are defensively, we're going to get minimal possessions anyway. And when we get those possessions, we got to go do something with it. And turning the football over obviously doesn't allow us to go do what we need to do.
Coach Jeff Lightsey from WKU. Last time you guys were out there, we saw Dakota Thomas make some plays. We've seen Malachi Corley get some action the last few games. Just, is there anybody, or are those two going to see an increased role in this bowl game, or anybody who hasn't maybe played a lot this year that we can expect to see on Saturday?
They will have an increased role, yes. Like I said last week, we get Dayton Wade back this week, so that'll help. But other than that, the wideouts will mainly go with, you got Dakota, Craig Burke, Malachi Dayton, Therese, and Mitchell Tinsley will be the main guys that you see at wideout. The main two backs will still be the guys there. Maybe we get to sprinkle in Noah and CJ a little bit, who both do a really nice job for us. And obviously always have to find a way to get Josh Simon the football.
Coach Jared with the Daily News. We've talked about how tough it is to run against this team, but what would it take to get a running game going against Georgia State and having Gage have another day like he has the last couple of games?
Being able to throw the football. You got to get them in their too high stuff. You got to, you hit some passes on them and make them play coverage, then it takes them out of, when you have to play the too high game, it takes them out of some of the line stunts, some of the things that they can do when they're in a one high defense. So, playing offense is, it's all married with each other. If you can run the football really well, it's going to open up passing lanes. And if you throw the football well, then you're going to open up some run lanes. So we'll have to be balanced. We're going to have to hand the ball off at times just to keep them honest. But, we'll see where that goes. I'm obviously not going to pound my head against the wall if that's not working. So, we'll see what we can do on Saturday, and whatever we're doing well, we'll try to continue to do those types of things.
Coach, this is the last game of the season, but 2020, as we all know, in college football has just been a crazy year. Just what are your biggest takeaways with this being the last game of the year? What has you as a coach been your biggest takeaway from this 2020 season, and where do you think, what have you learned throughout the course of the year?
Man, uh, the resiliency of these kids, man, is what I've been most proud of. What I've learned the most. I knew we had tough kids. I knew we had guys that really enjoyed playing a game of football. But the what happened to us there in July and August, and getting delayed, and are we playing? Are we not playing? It to just watch them this season and go out there and play the way they've done. To go to have all the testing. I think I've been tested for COVID probably close to 50 times, which isn't fun. And so a lot of those kids have too. And the stuff that they've dealt with. A part of playing college football is so much fun is having a bunch of people in the stands. Whether it's home games, away games. That's been different. Not having those guys around or the fans around and yelling at you. Some pretty funny names when you're on the road, and your own fans when you're doing well, and cheering for you when you're at home. So it's been there's a lot, and again, as a coach, the biggest thing that you learn too is it doesn't matter the year, it doesn't matter what the circumstances are. Your fan base expects you to win and look good doing it. And so that's the great thing about this profession is it's pretty bottom line. You know what you're getting into when you get into it, and when you win, it's fun, and when you lose, it's not. So it's been a challenging year for everybody, but man, it's been a lot of fun to see our kids fight through what they've had to fight through this year, and especially here at the end of the year, get to go have some success and go enjoy it.
Or what's it been like at practice for you guys?
It hasn't been the same. It's actually turned up. You know what I mean? So I think that's good for the tops. Guys are ready to go play against someone else. It's been a couple weeks, but the guys have been great. I thought we have 2 really nice, intense days. We turned up intensity, a lot of talking, a lot of chatter, a lot of fighting. So that's good. It's always good to have a couple fights in practice to get that intensity going. So it's been awesome.
With this offense, the Georgia State offense, you mentioned their receiver last week, number 15, the Pinckney kid. It looks like he's a guy that's got some good size, leads them, in receptions and stuff. And your pass defense has been very good, especially these last 4 games. What's it going to take to slow him down and then the rest of their passing offense?
Yep. A lot of times pass defense is, whenever you're ranked that high, it's definitely, to me, it's more of a team defensive type thing. But obviously pressure up front, make sure we're doing a great job of disguising, understanding that, when he's X alone, if he's by himself, that's when a lot of his balls come that way. And make sure we do a good job of keeping somebody underneath on top and understand our matchups. And let's just play smart. And I think, like I said, he's a good player. He does a really good job of high pointing the football. And the quarterback does a great job of giving him a chance to come down with the ball.
Coach Matthew Hargrove here with the College Heights Herald. D'Angelo Malone was just announced as the Conference USA Defensive Player of the Year. I feel like every week I'm always asking questions about him, but again, can you just praise him and talk about the year he's had?
He got Defensive Player of the Year? He was first team all conference. Okay, I got you. So I got you. I was confused. I didn't know that. But first team all conference, to me, like Malone, once again, he's given us all he had for the past couple of years. To me, he still gets better every game, and he takes coaching very well. I think those are the things that people don't understand about Malone, how hard he practices at practice. I think I said last week, he chased a running back about 75 yards down the field. That's just how he is every single day. He's a humble guy who understands, how important it is for him to play hard so his teammates play hard as well.
Coach Jared with the Daily News, to kind of go off of that, I know D'Angelo is a guy that probably has some professional aspirations, and this year's kind of weird with that extra year of eligibility and stuff. Is he a guy that you expect to try to go to the next level after this year and this be his last year, or is that still all up in the air with everybody?
With it being 2020, I know he'll make that decision whenever the time is right, and I think whenever the time is right for him to go to the National Football League, I think he would definitely try to maximize that opportunity and that goal.
One of the things, it stood out a lot in that FIU game, the turnovers that you guys were able to create. And I know you guys work on that every week. like you say, turnover Tuesdays. Against this Georgia State team, is there something in their offense that you see that you might be able to take advantage of, or what's it going to take to try to create those opportunities to get the offense back the ball?
Yep. Turnovers is kind of a mentality. It's definitely some things that we see. Pretty sure they see the same thing on our defense as well. But we definitely want to make sure that, to me, turnovers, you got to be in the right spot for the most part. You hardly ever get lucky whenever you're going against a good team. So if you do get lucky, you got to take advantage of it. So but we got to be in the right spot first and foremost. Make sure we own our guys. And when we tackle, we got to tackle physical. And the second guy and third guy in got to come in and try to get the ball out if it's loose. If the tackle's not secure. So we talk about it. That's our mindset. So we definitely want to get the football every single chance we have an opportunity to.
I know I just asked about D'Angelo and his future, but where it is kind of a weird year, you don't know who you're going to have back yet, but I can imagine, some guys in the portal, some guys going pro, some guys just moving on. It's not going to be the same exact group that you had this year. This is your fourth year working here at Western Kentucky, and a lot of these guys are older guys, experienced guys. If it is the last time with a lot of them, what can you say about just this group as a whole and what they've brought to Western Kentucky?
Wow. Those guys, coming in, I basically came in with these guys, the guys that are seniors. So I remember our very first couple of meetings. I mean, these guys have meant a lot to us as coaches, to our families, and, obviously to the university. I definitely personally want to say thank you to those guys, to the seniors that may be going on, the ones that coming back with every single player, really. But I think, they're giving their all. They're giving it to us in the classroom, giving it to us in the meeting room, on the field. And, I've always talked to them about, when you go, you have a task like this right here that's kind of heavy, make sure you don't have any regrets in the end. Like, as long as you can finish it without any regrets, you can move on in a good state. So I think that's all we talk about, having zero regrets when it's all over with. You don't know when it's over. And
Coach Chuck Lighty from WBKO, we know it's been a weird year, and this is the final game, but just kind of, if you can, you still got one game left, but if you could just kind of sum up in a few words the 2020 season and all the adversity that the team has had to overcome, the coaching staff has overcome, just kind of sum up in a few words this 2020 season and how special it's been that you guys are able to play a bowl game and get a chance to go out with a bang.
Yeah, that'll be awesome to go out with a bang. I think we kind of started this season out with talking about details and discipline. The details part really is just the football X's and O's, and whenever we are between the white lines, let's make sure that we're using all our details that we've accrued over the past 4 years in this defense, and then the discipline on the field, and obviously this year discipline off the field has been the utmost important to not go over to the social gatherings and all those things, the same as an adult, So I couldn't go to my favorite restaurants and sit in the corner and have a cold one. I had to stay home, So that's part of it. But to me, I would say details and discipline is the most important two things.
Coach Helton mentioned it 2 days ago, just how interesting or how cool it's going to be that you guys are all going to be together on Christmas. Just talk about how interesting it is to play the day after Christmas and spend time with the team.
Yep. To me, I do believe in, having holidays with your family and the football team is pretty cool. Because that's something that a normal person don't get to experience. They can't ever have that conversation, what it's like to have Christmas dinner with a football team. And I think that's very unique in itself. But I am looking forward to spending time with my family as well that morning before we leave, open up some presents and make sure Santa, arrives at the right time and all that stuff and get all that stuff done. And I had to go to work. But it'd be nice to have a victory. The victory would be the perfect Christmas present.